Hello, and I don't need to wait any longer to talk a little bit about the passing of Florian Schneider of Kraftwerk. And that's a big one for me personally. I, oh man, I need to shave. Anyway, I am big time fan and lover of electronic music ever since I was very young. I can still remember one of the first examples of hearing electronic music before I understood what it was or how it was created. I still haven't heard it since I was a kid, but it was a PSA, a public service announcement, back in the early 60s. I can still kind of hear it in my head. I wish that I could come across it. I still hope that somehow it will I'll hear it somewhere. Somehow it's been captured. It was kind of scary, but at the same time it was like, what is this sound? So by the time I got turned on to Kraftwerk, and I got turned on to Kraftwerk around 1972 by the kids that I mentioned a lot, who were Air Force brats. That was how they called themselves. They had traveled and lived everywhere because of their dad's work. And they had just moved back to the States from France, their mom's home country and apparently city and they turned me on to Kraftwerk, Faust, Genesis for real, even though I'd already heard them, Ashra Temple, Embryo. They had these records, and they gave me their collection when they graduated from high school. They gave me both the first two Kraftwerk records. I don't know what happened to number one. It got stolen. That's all I can figure. I know I didn't sell it. As crazy as I was selling records, that's when I know I didn't sell that. What happened to that album? I don't know. But when I got turned on to this, I had a psychedelic experience with, Kling Klang. It's almost a side-long piece. They named their publishing after it. This has been played hundreds of times and well partied on deep into the night when I was, a teenager, and just discovering, it just blew my head open. They and Faust, Can and Gong, and then later Henry Cow, because it took me a while to absorb Henry Cow, blew my mind, completely opened it up, and it was like there was no turning back. And so Florian Schneider, to me, is truly a gigantic pioneer of electronic and music in general. We would not have hip-hop or techno today the way it is without Kraftwerk. And the way they started, I still don't have on vinyl, and I even more so now will want one, a Tone Float Organization album. That's where they started. I've never been able to acquire a copy. The originals are very expensive. I'll show you what I have of Kraftwerk, and I probably have more on cassette and stuff, but this is what's here. So when this came out, when Ralph and Florian, their third album came out, I bought it immediately. This is my high school copy. It's trashed because I played it so much. Deeply love this album. Deeply. There it is. You see the embossed cover. This is the UK original cover. A lot of people, I posted this online. Several people said they had never seen this version. This is the original UK cover. Love this album. I've had it since 1973. I've played the hell out of it. Then I was very fortunate. Autobahn came out. And even though I thought compared to what they had just done that the main song Autobahn was cool, but also kind of like a novelty, you know, right away. It was like, this is a bit of a novelty, and the fun, even though it's German, just the fact that it sounds like the Beach Boys, it's like, yeah, these guys are onto something, and they, you know, beyond what they realize, I think. And I got to see them. When they came to America for this first time, I checked, and eerily, today is May 6th. I saw them May 4th, 1975. Monday, that was 45 years ago. 45 years. I have loved this band. And for the longest time was the only person I knew, other than my friends from high school, knew about them. I was talking about the Lincoln concert where they had the neon lights at their feet, and it was the four of them with the early drum pads that they had built. It was very surreal. Pavlov's Dog opened. They were terrible, just really a mismatch, even though they were not a bad band. It was not properly matched. But someone else I know, it turns out, was at the show, and they posted their memory of it, which was slightly different from mine, mainly because I probably didn't pay attention to the fact that he said that the audience kept yelling for Autobahn their whole set. And when I think about it, he's probably right, but because I already knew the music and was right at the foot of the stage and kind of in disbelief that I was seeing them, I hardly remember that distraction. It was really surreal. And I just knew I was seeing something historic. I'd never seen a band presented like that. It was a first. It was amazing. Now this I have to show, and it's like, okay, so I did lose my mind. I used to have an original copy of Computer World, and I sold it. What else did I sell? Because this is a replacement copy, which is a boot. Turns out it's an unofficial pressing made in Australia. It's very good pressing, but according to Discogs, this is not official. But it plays just fine, and it's got the insert and everything like the original. I don't know why I sold this album, because I love it. Don't have all their albums, but I have the main ones. Man Machine. This one, when it came out, everyone loves it. When this came out, I didn't like this. It took me forever to get into it. Radioactivity. Just by the time this came out, what I was listening to in 1975, it didn't strike me well. It took me a long time to get into it. Some more stuff. Is it down here still? I was just playing this. This is by many considered their worst album, and I can understand that and basically agree with it. But Electric Cafe, I played this all the way through today, and it is a bit treading water, but look at that picture. That is... what an image. So yeah, they had refined their approach by this time, and it was almost like, well, we're just kind of repeating ourselves. We don't know what to do next. It did get better when they moved on with the Tour de France. I have the whole album on CD. I didn't grab the CDs. They're right over there. Music Nonstop, 12-inch. Love this band. I do, and it doesn't... It's not long that I'm not playing Kraftwerk music, just naturally. This is one I played recently. It's a Hot Chip remix of a couple of their tracks. Aerodynamic. Really good. A perfect matchup, Hot Chip and Kraftwerk. The Robots. When they did the mix of this, the remix album, which I have on CD, I've got it. Maybe I'll grab them. I love these. So I got that. I did pull this. I was showing this online earlier, the CD single of the Robots. Love those. Telephone Call. Like this song a lot. Here's, this is a neat collector's item I have of theirs. They have some, and I wish I had more of them, but Neon Lights. This is a luminescent, glow-in-the-dark 12-inch single. It still glows in the dark. You hold up to light, and it glows. It still does. I can see it a little bit right now. Played this earlier today. It's a bit of a noisy pressing because of the, I think it's because of what they had to put in the vinyl to make it luminous. But it's a great item to have. Showroom dummies, backed with the French version of it, Le Mannequin. And then this is I believe, Anita from Poland sent this to me. It's a bootleg of an early recording, 1971. I just have a few singles. Would love to have more. But I grabbed this when it came out because it was popular here in America. And so the Pocket Calculator single made it to the stores in Omaha. The yellow vinyl or the green or whatever you call it. So I got this right away. Love that. Love that. A few more singles. This one here. Europe Endless and Trans-Europe Express on a single. I think that's a UK single, UK pressing. This was a great find. I still remember finding this back in the, I think the 80s. There was some kind of business had gone out of business. The building was being sold, and they had discovered all these records in the back room. And we're just selling these piles of singles for 10 cents a piece. And I found this for a dime. Autobahn. Promotional copy on Vertigo for a dime. Yeah, those are the kind of bottom feeder moments that we collectors love. They don't happen often enough. Here's the black vinyl version of, this is Computer Love, not Numbers, but Computer Love. American single. And the only other 7-inch I have is Tour de France. I love them. Now, I have their box set, Minimum Maximum. It wasn't that long ago I played it. But Kraftwerk, huge. Rest in peace, Florian. 73 of cancer. Still, relatively 73. Could live could have lived a lot longer. And we wish a long life for everyone. Just a huge figure in music. And then it turns out that he was socially conscious and was into climate, change. He was doing some things trying to call awareness to climate change issues. My kind of people. Rest in peace, Florian Schneider.